guys, the video that will follow this introduction is a video showing you how I get my coconut oil. This method has been used in the Caribbean for centuries upon centuries. We grew up using coconut oil, so it's not something new to us. It did not come about with the popularity of the natural hair movement. My grandmother has made, both my grandmothers have made coconut oil from the time I was a child. Coconut oil is something I grew up knowing and that I grew up familiar with. So I ended up learning how to make coconut oil, and I have made coconut oil so much that I actually sold coconut oil while I was living in Trinidad for university. Fun fact about me. And so I figured it was about time that I show you guys how I make my coconut oil. There have been some classifications of coconut oil, some which have no bearing apart from companies trying to make their product look superior to another company's. For example, the term extra virgin coconut oil, there is no standard or measure to measure whether your coconut oil is extra virgin. The two broadest categories of coconut oil are refined coconut oil and virgin coconut oil. So if your coconut oil is not refined, it is virgin. Refined coconut oil usually uses copra, which is where the flesh of the coconut is no longer fresh, it has started to rot, and which is why they would decolorize and deodorize that coconut oil. We use this for cooking. We also use for cooking the kind that I am showing you. It can be used on your skin. It is pure enough to use on a baby's skin. It can be used on your hair. It can be used for food. It can be used for oil pulling. I am using the wet milling process. There are a variety of wet milling processes. The one that I am going to use is fermentation. And this is the type of wet milling process that yields the most pure oil. And it's because you're not using heat to get the oil from the onset. You're using fermentation to separate the cream or the oil solids from the water content, which is what I'm going to show you. I'm going to point it out in the video when I show you that. And then you're boiling these oil solids, which will give you your actual liquid oil and a solid residue, which is protein. I know there are all these convoluted ideas about expeller pressed coconut oil and extra virgin coconut oil and all of these grandiose labels. However, this is what I've used from the time I was a baby up until now, and it has yielded great results, and so I have no problem continuing to use what my ancestors, what my grandmother has taught me to use and how to make it. So I'm sticking with this method. What I must mention, if you're going to make coconut oil, you might as well prepare to make a good bit of oil. So just for your reference, about 8 coconuts, if your coconuts are large, 7 to 8 coconuts will yield about 8 ounces of oil. And I am going to leave some articles in the description box if you want to know about the various processes to obtain coconut oil and the different categories of coconut oil and how to know these different categories. So guys, this is all I have to say. If you have any questions, leave them down below and I will try to answer them. And guys, I am about 200 subscribers short of 5,000. Help me get to that goal. I've actually not met my goal. This was my goal for the end of August. We are now approaching the end of September and I have not met my goal. So help me meet my goal and subscribe if you have not subscribed. Give a sister a thumbs up if you're enjoying her content and her videos. And guys, leave your comments down below. Don't be shy. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Hey again, guys. So in terms of cracking the coconut shell, I simply slam the coconut shell on the road and it breaks up into these pieces, and then I need to remove the coconut from the shell, which is what you'll be seeing right here. I try to use a blunt knife because it is quite possible that your hand might slip. So if you're using a sharp knife, that may pose danger to you. So try to use a blunt knife, and you're really using pressure to remove the coconut from the shell rather than the sharpness of the knife. I can't even explain how to remove it from the shell. practice makes perfect. With experience, you will develop your own style. I simply try to get as much leverage as possible with the knife, and I use pressure and force to remove the rest of the piece. I then cut my coconut into smaller cubes, and that's just to help my blender along. If your blender is super powerful, then you don't have to do that if you don't want to. And pretty much the measure is to cover your coconut pieces with enough water to allow it to blend. It doesn't matter how much water you use, the water and the cream will separate eventually. And here I'm using every method I know possible to get all of the coconut milk out of the pulp. This coconut pulp is often used to make flour, and this, guys, is your coconut milk. This is actually the process that you use to make coconut milk that is edible, that you use for food. So if you want to make your own coconut milk, then I have shown you the process. If you leave this coconut milk in the refrigerator, you would be able to get coconut cream, which is the thicker substitute to coconut milk. And pretty much coconut cream is what we'll be using to make coconut oil. However, we're allowing this coconut cream to ferment. So what you see here is my fermented coconut cream, and so it has separated into the solids and the water at the bottom. And what you're seeing here is me scooping out the solids and placing it into a pot. And this is what we're going to use to make our coconut oil. Put your pot on the fire and just allow it to boil. You won't have to start mixing just yet. You can mix if you want to, but you don't have to start mixing just yet. When it gets closer to the end result, where your protein is in a more solid form, a more defined form, then you would have to mix so that your solids don't stick at the bottom of the pan and burn. And this is your protein solids forming right here. You see it's getting more and more defined as time goes on, and your oil is more pronounced. Some people take the oil at this point. However, my grandmother and them believe that the oil is uncooked at this point, and so it will get rancid quicker than if you allow the oil to cook. And how you would know if the oil is cooked is when your protein gets brown. It has an almost fried consistency, and you're going to see that at the end. And ta-da! This is it. In St. Lucia, actually, they eat the protein solids as a snack, and it has a very nice taste. I've tasted it before. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye bye.